At the top of the show, I used Paul's words. He said, we've had a crappy few years, and I think we could all probably agree that's true. Despite that crappy 3 years of COVID, we have seen Australia do incredibly well. Our statistics around vaccination, infection and mortality have been incredible. And at the same time, we've also managed an incredibly strong economy. So how is it that the Liberals aren't an absolute shoo-in to win the next election?
Well, all sorts of people make predictions about elections. I remember that occurring about this time 3 years ago. Remember that very, very vividly. And look, my honest answer about as you go into an election, we have been through quite an extraordinary last 3.5 years. You know, people have suffered a lot and they're suffering right now as we speak. And as you go through times like that, understandably, people will get very frustrated and they'll get very hurt and they will express that. And I understand that. But as you get closer to the election, this isn't a referendum. This is a choice. This election is a choice between who you want to lead the country. Anthony Albanese, Labor Party, undoubtedly supported by the Greens, or the Liberals and the Nationals, and myself as Prime Minister. And I believe Australians, particularly those who've been quietly going about their lives over the last 3 years and during all the things we've talked about, they are starting to focus up on that choice. And we'll move from the sentiment being expressed to people making real choices about where they want the country to go over the next 3, 5 and 10 years. And make no mistake, this isn't like responding to a phone call, who do you think you're going to support in an election? That doesn't change anything. But when you go into that ballot booth and you put Neil McGill down there in Shortland, the Liberal candidate, then you can ensure that you can keep Australia's economy strong and you can keep Australians safe. And that's what's up for grabs. That's what makes the difference. And so as the election gets closer, I think this will come more into sharp focus. And I trust Australians. I always have, that they will weigh this up. I mean, in Australia, we don't have the sort of politics like they have in many other countries. I mean, in between elections, Australians basically just get on with their lives. And frankly, probably the less they'd like to see of politicians, the better in between. And I get that. And I actually like that about Australia. They're constantly not agonising and talking their country down. Yeah, there's plenty who do that, but they're on other programs. Yeah. And Australians, though, when it comes to the big choices, I think will focus on these things. And at the moment, and it is always the case, because federal elections are always close. They're always close. And it'll come down to who do you think's best able and experienced to manage the economy. And in a world where, frankly, the world has just gone to war in Europe again, and the pressures we face in the Indo-Pacific, who was best prepared, most seasoned, most experienced to actually take us through that challenging time? That's the choice. It's a clear one.